Welcome to Marketing in the Age of AI, the show for leaders who want real results, not more noise. Join Emmanuel Rose as he helps business builders turn AI from a confusing add-on into a practical advantage with clearer messaging, stronger trust, and smarter systems. If you felt the shift happening in real time, you're not imagining it. In the agentic pivot, Emmanuel calls it the move from experimenting with AI to building with it, so it supports your team, your brand, and your growth. Let's get into it.
Welcome to Marketing in the Age of AI. I'm Emmanuel Rose. Today, I'm joined by Brian Beck, founder of ProcServe Solutions. Brian works with executives who need to understand AI, cybersecurity, and technology strategy without getting lost in technical complexity. His work focuses on helping companies turn technology into practical business outcomes, growth, operational efficiency, and stronger security. Based in Indiana, Brian is also active in the business community there, bringing leaders together to discuss innovation and change in a grounded, useful way. Our conversation today will focus on how business leaders approach AI with clarity, manage risk, and make smarter decisions about where technology fits into a growth strategy. Brian,
intro, Emmanuel.
Thanks for taking some time to chat with me today.
Yeah, absolutely. Thanks for making some time. But real quick, credit where credit is due. Troy Hawarda is the founder. I get to
gotcha.
I am lucky enough to be able to work with him. Him and our president.
Okay, good clarification.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know how we got that one wrong, but sometimes AI gets it wrong.
What? AI is not 100% perfect? You got to be kidding me.
Well, it's good stuff. So tell me about how you got started in AI or in security in general, and then what the transition to AI security has been like for you.
Well, I've been in the industry since, I'm going to say it, and I live in Indiana. Chicago Bears won the Super Bowl. I am from Chicago way back in the day. So it's been
Was that
just
like
a little bit.
85 or 86? What was
I
that?
see you doing the math, man. But yeah, way back in 85.
The shuffle.
I mean,
that was the shuffle days.
Had the shuffle. Man, I had all the McDonald's trading cards. I had all that stuff when I was a kid back in the day. But
Yeah.
I mean, I couldn't even drive yet. And my dad decided to start a business out of the basement. It was focused on laser printers. And so those were the very first generation HP laser jets and Canon and Xerox, all that kind of fun stuff back in the day. That turned into, hey, can you fix my printer? That turned into, how come I can't print? So can you look at my computer? That turned into network administration. That turned into developing teams because Brian can't do it all by himself. And so we continue to be able to scale out education, certifications, all that kind of fun thing along the way. And, you know, one of the pivotal moments for me was Microsoft came into town way back in the day, and they were talking about this new architecture called the cloud. And they were going through all these diagrams and 35 different slides and arrows going like this and acronyms all over the place. And everybody was as lost as you could possibly be in a presentation. And I'm looking around and I see a lot of owners that I knew back in the day. And that's kind of when I realized, okay, well, I for the most part understand what these people are talking about, but I know for sure that these guys have no idea what they're talking about. So if I can learn to invest more in how to translate technology into business, then I think that looks like a pretty good thing. And you started getting broadband that was coming around, and you know, all of a sudden .com, and oh, the world's going to go and shut down because nobody's going to want to shop anymore. We're all going to be online, and the internet's this amazing thing, and everybody's going to do all these, right? Y2K, right? Do you remember Y2K? Okay,
absolutely.
Year 2000, we were going to go from 1999. I got caught on this one day, and somebody had to stop me, and that's when I realized, am I getting old? I don't know. Wow. But when we're going to go from 1999 to 2000, right? Planes were going to fall from the sky and it was going to be the apocalypse. And yet we all woke up the next day and technology continued forward. AI is the new version of, hey, this is revolutionary. It is transformational. So if we can understand how to be able to leverage what it can do really well for the benefit of the team, and we can also understand where some challenges may wind up coming in, we can leverage it as a strategic advantage.
Yeah,
It's a pretty powerful tool. So let's figure out how to use it correctly and for the benefit of an organization.
I love it, and I think we're aligned on that. It is part of a long string, as you described, of technological innovations, and in each of those steps, the gating item is always the human and the change management part of adopting the technology. That's where it slows down. So that's, I think,
Absolutely,
it's the
there's the
most
bottleneck
fascinating
right there.
thing when you look at we, we've been talking with a bank that it's probably a $500 million a year bank, and they have just started looking at using AI in their processes, and then you go all the way to the other end, which is where you and I are setting up AI agents and varieties of software to do work on our behalf autonomously, and that's the gap, right? People just getting started who already have successful businesses, and people are using AI agents to do work that they were doing just a year ago.
Yeah. No, I mean that's the biggest thing, right? It's about setting up your data so that you can leverage it securely and at scale. You probably have a lot of the same conversations that I get to have, where it's a lot of people that get so married to their model that they prefer, they lose sight of how does this benefit the entire organization.
Yeah,
It's this is my favorite thing to do, and for whatever reason, I just don't want to ever give it up again. It's like the, but so how do we take you and then scale that across your organization? If you're a really small startup and you're 2 to 3 people, okay, I get it. It's a conversation that's going to be hard to be able to try to talk about scaling because of the size that you're at and effectiveness, investments, things along those lines. But you're 15, 20, 30, 50 plus people. How do I take your excitement about what you like to do and scale that across the entire organization so that we help to allow you to be more competitive in your
yeah,
marketplace?
yeah.
It's You can't. So we got to get out of the me and into the we.
Yeah. So then, talk about some of the, one or two of the clients that you're working with, and where you started with them, and where they are in their AI deployment process.
I mean, I'm really, really engaged now around turning the ship from oh, I can get agents and put these things into our environment, where we've been going, hold on. Do you have a plan? Do you have a plan? No, it'll be fine.
Yeah.
Don't worry about it. Into you know what? We've had these things in the environment and we're not getting anywhere. Huh. Well, I didn't see that coming. So how do we now we want to sit down, right, and have the conversations and strategize around what good looks like and identifying an ROI. I walk into a lot of conferences where it's, hey, we're going to give you this much efficiency back. You're going to get this efficiency gain. My question is always, so what if that's not the measure of success for that organization?
Right.
What if the measure of success is going to be, do I need to continue to hire as many people as I did before? Okay, yeah, I gained some efficiency, but is that my determination for success?
Sure.
Some is going to be scalability, and going forward, do I have to hire another 15 people like I did last year because of my growth trajectory?
Yeah.
Or am I going to look forward to, hey, I'm going to hire 5? Now, 5, that's the revenue gain that I'm going to get, which is the main driving factor for me, as opposed to the initial factor, which is, yeah, you gained efficiency so that you don't have to hire additional people. But to you, that's secondary, right? That's noise. Your real target is, I don't want to have to hire as many people, but I don't want to sacrifice the culture in my organization. And I want to be able to still deliver the result that my organization has been built on and it's become known for. So, how do I do that? I want to manage that expectation and then project out, right? Different leaders have different outcomes that they're looking for and measurements for success. So, it's about that conversation and identifying it. And like I tell most people, on foundation foundational guy, right? Think about me like the concrete. Have anything to build on top of that's strong enough, whatever it is you're trying to build. So let's take a look at that. Let's align those conversations with your ecosystem and your culture to make sure that they can be built and scaled successfully on top of it. Now we can start having conversations around where do you want to go and align that to success, your success metrics, which are going to be unique.
Yeah, I love it. Yeah, and it is interesting. You can simultaneously start working on the data lakes and then building the governance policies. You can do that. Start there, right? Like let's start with this very foundational thing that's going to feed everything else, and then help people understand. I like to then move into these custom GPTs or custom work environments so that people can get one weekly task that they spend 2 or 3 hours on, cleaned up and automated as much as possible, so that they get an hour, 2 hours of their work week back, and then they become very much focused on how great the tool can be.
Yeah. I mean, that's definitely a place to be able to start. I'd like to look at, similar to you, I like to look at the team dynamic. So how do I take what your team is doing repetitively? And then, if we're talking about customer service, if we're talking about operations from a leadership standpoint, sales reporting or operational effectiveness or whatever that happens to be, let's look across the team and how are we using what to be able to do what. And if that is going to be, something that's going to get you some efficiency gains back, but also let's take a look in your environment. And do you have multiple different tools inside your environment right now, software packages, whatever that happens to be, that's crossing over into these other areas? Let's try to streamline that. And now if we can start creating agents that can support that, remove additional software agents to be able to mitigate some of the cost and also efficiency gains, right?
Yeah.
Now we're starting strategy, and then we can start getting really dangerous. It gets crazy.
Well, what you triggered me to think about is how much longer do you think that we're going to have these big SaaS bills versus building custom solutions for a lot of these business functions?
Oof. Wow. By the way, the fact that you just said that I triggered you, I hear that from my wife on a regular basis. So I'm used to
different kind of trigger.
I'm just kidding.
You don't have to sleep on the couch.
I love my wife to death. She knows that absolutely. She is the rock in my world. But
Yeah.
I think, from a SaaS standpoint, I mean, this is going to be something that we're going to be dealing with for a while. I can't say if it's going to be 3 years, 5 years, 7 years, whatever it's going to be, because right now you've got so many of these tools that are out there, cloud-based or even on-prem, that you still have to install them on, where they're telling you we have AI embedded. Everything is right, AI embedded at this point. So trying to be able to filter through what's really going to be effective for an organization versus not, and all these initial investments in building out the infrastructure so that this stuff can continue its advancements, but also it can continue to expand and be as responsive as possible and as fluid as it can possibly be. With all these different investments that are going on, they got to recoup that investment somehow. And you can try to tell me all day long that it's only going to be $20. Next week it's going to be 22, and it's going to be 23.10, and all the other costs that wind up coming into these things, right? So I think it's going to be a little bit of a road.
Yeah, and I guess this idea that you bring up too is that we need to be agnostic to the platform that we're using, right? And that Claude and Codex are kind of the models du jour, but Grok has got all their super agents, which is on my to-do list this next 2 weeks, is to dig into the Grok agents and see what if there's some functionality there that I'm missing. Gemini and all that thing, I think Google's way behind, but they can. The thing that's so amazing is that the speed at which catch up can happen now inside competition because of the AI support and AI coding, and we're seeing that. I'm in a project right now where we saw some major flaws and had to rebuild the whole platform. And the guys did it or the people did it in about 10 days. They just made a major 90-degree turn, and then it is all functional again, which typically would have taken 6 or 8 months in the past.
Oh yeah. So state of Indiana has an AI initiative, and my brain was bounced between a couple things because what you said, I was like, which direction do I need to go?
Yeah.
But I was just doing a presentation. It's called the Indiana AI Roadshow. And so going around state of Indiana to be able to drive the most AI ready economy in the nation, right?
Okay.
Which I think is a phenomenal goal to be able to go after. But I also think that that's going to create challenges because you're going to drive excitement and then you move on to the next location and you're going to drive excitement. We're not given a clear path behind the fact to be able to develop, right? Or provide resources outside of the web. And we're hoping that people are going to follow up. But you can only do so much, right? It's a great first step. I think it's a strong first step. We just got to continue to be able to refine, build out. I had an opportunity at one of the presentations. The guys at CICP and TechPoint are doing a phenomenal job building it the way that they see that it needs to be built. But in that conversation, right, I got up there and one of the AI specialists built a solution and popped it up on the screen and said, wouldn't this be great if all of your team had the ability to be able to do what I just did without an understanding of technology? And I'm sitting there like, that terrifies me. Oh my God. I do not want my organization and everybody in it to start building apps all over the place with my company data. And then how do you maintain control over that? How do you maintain governance over your data over that, right? So I'm just watching and I'm starting to break out into cold sweats. And I'm like, okay, so I get to go up right after him. And I use that as an example. And I said, how many of you guys are business owners out here? And I don't know. Bunch of hands went up. I said, how many of you guys are focused to your cybersecurity? That one I can tell you for sure. 5 hands went up out of this entire room. And there was quite a few people in the room. And I said, now, if you've got, let's think about this real quick. Cybersecurity, you guys think cybersecurity is restrictive. What if I told you you need to think about that a little differently? Cybersecurity is what enables your AI to reach its potential. Now, the question is why? Look around the room, you get a bunch of faces on you, and say, because it's what allows you to be able to have your entire organization leverage AI to its fullest extent based on their role and their understanding of what that tool can provide for them. Now you've got exponential opportunity where you can talk to people. But when you don't have that, now you've got, think about it, you just saw somebody build something in like no time that now has access to company data. How comfortable you guys feel right now? And it was the,
like, I hadn't considered that.
Yeah, exactly. Came right into you, right? I was like,
yeah, exactly.
So if we can build those foundational practices, man, AI can be absolutely incredible. When you don't, it can be incredible in the other direction too.
Yeah, absolutely. And I think that's what I'm seeing. The split right now is as we finally have gotten past the hype point and the kind of the knife and fork businesses that are out there, and banks and fence companies and contractors, all good sized businesses, 50, 60, 100, 200, $300 million businesses. They're like, okay, let's see what we're going to do with this and how we approach it in a rational way so that we can get some of these benefits now that it's been proven out. But talk to me a little bit about the who's the ICP for the type of client you guys are looking to work with. It's the ideal client profile.
Client profile? Man, you're throwing out the 3-letter acronyms.
That's right. It's a marketing show. I got to ask you a couple of marketing questions.
That's totally fair. Totally fair. Absolutely. For us, I mean, it's really organizations that value technology but have a growth mindset. So if you're especially in the compliance space, legal space, you're 20 plus up to about 250-ish. From a user base standpoint, you're looking for growth. You're looking for financial investment. You've got compliancy on the horizon, or at some point, The other thing is, good at solid ethics. It's not about just trying to slam technology in with no regard for how you're doing it. Then we're a really good fit. And the conversations for us are focused around that growth strategy, leadership strategy. It's not what firewall am I using. It's not what antivirus do you prefer. It's not anything along those lines. It's business strategy. How do we leverage technology to help you scale? Secure, ethics, scale. Let's focus.
That's cool. Yeah, that's good. And then are you constrained by geography, or do you have clients all over the country?
Well, quite honestly, we get asked to be able to go all over the country and do all kinds of things in different areas, but we prefer to stay in the state of Indiana, specifically because that's where relationships are going to be built, when we can walk shoulder to shoulder with people. So it's a different conversation, right? When you can sit down over lunch, shake some hands, body language, what that looks like inside a room. And also they know that if things ever get tough, plus if things get exciting, you want to be able to walk alongside people, give them a call. Let's sit down. We got to talk about this. It's different 2D than 3D. So
indeed. Yeah. And you and I have been around long enough to know that getting new clients is fun and exciting, but maintaining clients for a long time and building those relationships is really I think one of the most rewarding parts of being in business. And I've got clients that are 18 years with me, and they're part of my family, and it's the difference between a customer and a client, right? I actually care about the outcomes they're getting.
100%. They've got to realize that we're as invested in their success as they are, and that we'll be there, right? I mean, Troy, the original founder, he's got clients. Proxer's been 24 years, and he's got clients that date back to when he opened the doors. And it's because of his relationships, and those mean everything. Yeah.
And to be able to get through the rough times as well, when things are going a little sideways, and you're able to manage that. So, Well, Brian, how do people get in touch with you if they want to have a conversation about technology and strategy and growth?
They can go to proxerve.com and just hit the read through. If it looks like it could be a good fit, hit on the info button, shoot me an email, and I'll be quick to respond there, or on LinkedIn. I guarantee you, if you put in Brian Beck Proxerve, I will be the only one that pops up. So it makes it a little simple.
It's Proxerve with an X, though. That's what you gotta remember.
Exactly right. We're your proxy to serve you, where the name was born.
All right. Well, good stuff. I really appreciate your point of view on this, and the fact that we're contemporaries in a couple different settings helps. And I sure wish you the best, and look forward to reaching out to you again and getting a view of it as things continue to mature.
I appreciate the time, Emmanuel. It's been great talking to you today. I look forward to staying in touch.
All right. Thanks a lot. Have a great day.
You too.
Thanks for listening to Marketing in the Age of AI. Be sure to subscribe wherever you heard this podcast so you never miss a future episode. Your copy of Authentic Marketing in the Age of AI is available at Amazon.com or EmmanuelRose.com. You can also connect with Emmanuel on LinkedIn. Thanks again for listening, and we'll see you next time.